Well, hello, I'm back here again to talk about American domestic politics. It looks like the Republican Party is going to face some serious headwinds and electoral losses. And when I mean serious, a legislative state house seat in Louisiana, yes, you heard that right, Louisiana, that voted 13 points for Trump and the GOP, been a Republican controlled seat for decades. Louisiana, we're not even talking about Texas anymore. The seat swung by almost 40 points. So a plus 13R seat in Louisiana, the deep south, went 24 plus points to a Democratic candidate. Yeah, you heard that right. Looks like 2026 is going to be a serious blowout for the Democrats. It's looking real. And I don't even think it's because of what Democrats are doing. I think people are just so mad at what's going on in the government right now. I'm going to show you a clip, though, real quick here.
We have another special election where Democrats absolutely trounced the Republicans in what can only be described as a humiliating fashion. So last time we talked about this, there was an election in Texas that the Democrats last held the seat in like 1990 or something preposterous like that. And they wound up winning pretty convincingly. Well, now we have a Louisiana State House primary, or a special election primary, House 60, and you have Chastity Martinez, the Democrat, beats the Republican Brad Daigle. But get this, so this is a Trump plus 13 district, and the Democrat ended up winning by 27 points. 27. So that's a 40-point swing, y'all. 40-point swing. So look, by that logic, if you look at that math, there's not a single safe Republican seat in the entire goddamn country. Okay? I mean, you're looking at, you gotta be like Republican plus 30 or more to actually feel comfortable and confident right now. And what we're seeing is, even where Republicans decided to gerrymander, now that's backfiring too, where I read an article this week that even where Republicans gerrymandered, it looks like Democrats could still pick up 3 seats because of basically the snapback when it comes to certain demographics. So like Hispanics, for example, they voted more for Trump than any Republican in modern history. Well, now not only did they revert to the mean, where now they're supporting Democrats, they're supporting them more than they did in 2016, right? So it's not only reverting to the mean, it is more than reverting to the mean. And that's across the board when it comes to Hispanics, when it comes to independents, when it comes to young people. We're witnessing like the mass collapse of MAGA right in front of our eyes. And look, it should come as no surprise to people when these people have carte blanche and when they hold every lever of power. Look at what they do with it. The immediate thing they did, what did Trump do immediately? More corruption, like the most corrupt president we've seen by far, and it's not even close, whether it's his crypto stuff or his Qatar stuff, or World Liberty Financial, or the pay-to-play club that his sons opened up. You have all these insane avenues of corruption, but then you also have immense warmongering, country after country warmongering, launching a trade war, alienating us from all of our allies, unemployment going up, inflation going up, people struggling, can't afford stuff when they go to the grocery store. You got fucking Klarna, buy now, pay later for groceries, now that we're talking about. So you give them free reign, and they fuck everything up so thoroughly that now the default option for people is Democrats. And this gets to something I said a long time ago. I told you guys that I think Democrats were going to win by pretty large margins, even if they did the chicken shit strategy of just like sit in the corner, say nothing, and let Republicans destroy everything. Because people will default to the other party when they see what Republican governance really looks like. But the other thing I've always told you still stands, which is that strategy works from the Democrats, but it would work even better if they decided to fight, if they decided to really go to the mat, really go after the Republicans aggressively, and really represent the opposite philosophy. Really make a case against the warmongering, against the corruption, against money in politics, against the billionaires. Really make a case for Medicare for all and free college and a living wage. And so I've never seen, this big of a swing in such a short period of time. We're only talking a year ago where the results were what they were. Now, if you look at it, I mean, this is like catastrophe for the Republicans. This is like the whole movement is collapsing into dust. People said after Obama exited the scene in 2016, they said, look, there was, the Democrats lost 1,000 seats for Democrats around the country under Obama, and there was a bit of like a void after Obama in that the Democratic Party was in the wilderness a little bit and lost, and they didn't have that strong figurehead anymore. Well, I think what we're looking at with Republicans is that times 1,000. I think we're looking at that injected with steroids and human growth hormone. I mean, I think the Republican Party is so immensely cooked. They're cooked under Trump, but certainly when Trump is gone, what is J.D. Vance going to hold together this coalition? There's not a snowball's chance in hell that J.D. Vance can hold together this coalition. So again, amazing story here. Louisiana State House 60, the special election primary, and with 91% reporting, it was the Democrat winning, Chastity Martinez, 63.5% to 36.6%. So again, it's a plus 13 pro-Republican, pro-Trump seat. The Democrat is winning by 27 points. That's a 40-point swing, ladies and gentlemen. And we've already seen that. We've seen that in Mississippi. We've seen that in Texas. We've seen that in Iowa. Seemingly every time I do one of these breaking news segments and I'm telling you about a special election, it's about how the Republicans imploded into dust and the Democrats, without even, it's literally the meme that they use for China, where it's like President Xi, do nothing, win. That's right now, that's exactly what's happening with Democrats. But again, imagine a system where the Democrats actually fought. Imagine a system where the Democrats actually read the opposite philosophy of the Republicans and went after MAGA, went after the fascists, went after the warmongers, went after the billionaires. Then you'd be looking at, shit, there literally wouldn't be a single safe seat in the country for Republicans. Like I said, right now you need like Republican plus 30 or more to feel comfortable, okay? But if Democrats actually fought, shit, it would need to be Republican plus 45 for them to feel comfortable. So, man, those midterms can't come fast enough. But again, we got to make it too big to rig because we know what the Republicans are going to do. Trump's already showing every sign in the world that he's like, oh, I'm going to try to steal this shit, of course. Of course, I'm seizing ballots from 2020 in Fulton County, Georgia. I'm coming up with new laws to show IDs that don't even exist in order for you to be able to vote. That's literal, by the way. There's all sorts of fuckery going on right now where they're obviously trying to ballot spoil and ballot purge. And you got Steve Bannon, Sloppy Steve, talking about sending ICE to the polls to intimidate voters. So they're going to try every trick in the book to hang on to power, especially since they know they just went on a crime spree and there might be accountability if they lose. So that means we just got to show up in bigger numbers and make it too big to rig. But big deal. Now you have deep red Louisiana, where Democrats are winning. So Republicans, you're in trouble.
Like I said, evidence speaks for itself. Even the Democrats doing nothing are winning. Republicans are imploding like quicksand. It's going to be worse for Republicans under Trump than it will be Democrats under Obama. Literally, with the Democrats, it was just like they were voided of a leader after Obama. Republicans are not only voided of true leadership, but they're under a very flawed leader that people despise, as you see. He angers people. This president angers people. Obama, people just grew disenchanted with the Democrats. Under Trump, people are angry. And that's the difference here. So he's a deeply polarizing figure, and this was going to be the consequences of the Republican Party's leadership, of him being at the top of the helm. So the results speak for themselves. When you're seeing solid seats in Louisiana and Texas flipping, and Mississippi, yikes. That's all I got to say here. Anyways, love y'all. See you later. Have a great day. Goodbye.